In December 2025, Netflix did something that shocked every executive in Hollywood. They announced they were going to spend $82 billion. Not on movies, not on shows, on an entire century-old media empire. Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, the DC Universe, HBO, all of it. One move, and it changes everything you think you know about what Netflix actually is. This is not the Netflix story you think you know. April 19, 2022. Netflix released its quarterly earnings after the market closed. What happened next was one of the most dramatic single-day collapses in the history of American business. The company had lost 200,000 subscribers, the first time it had lost subscribers in over a decade. The stock crashed 35% in a single day. $54 billion in market value evaporated overnight. By the end of 2022, the stock was down 75% from its peak. Netflix had gone from Wall Street's most beloved growth story to its most humiliating cautionary tale in less than 12 months. Reed Hastings went on television and admitted the company had a serious problem. Analysts who had been bullish for years suddenly couldn't downgrade it fast enough. The question on everyone's lips wasn't what Netflix would do next. It was whether Netflix would survive it all. Netflix made two moves that year that would have seemed unthinkable just 12 months earlier. The first, advertising. For years, Netflix had built its entire identity around one promise: no ads, ever. In 2019, Reed Hastings had said, quote, "The simplest summary of what we do differently is no advertising." 3 years later, facing an existential crisis, Netflix launched an ad-supported tier at $6.99 a month. The second move, the password crackdown. Netflix had over 100 million people using accounts they didn't pay for. The company had actually encouraged this for years. In 2017, Netflix's own Twitter account posted, "Love is sharing a password." 6 years later, they shut it all down. Password sharing was over. The backlash was immediate and fierce. Customers were furious. Analysts called it a desperate money grab. Everyone predicted a mass exodus of cancellations. They were wrong. In the week Netflix launched the password crackdown, new subscriber signups jumped 117% in a single week, and the people who left were replaced by paying customers almost immediately. The numbers that followed were staggering. Netflix ended 2024 with 301 million paid subscribers globally. Its largest subscriber gain ever came in Q4 2024, with 18.9 million new subscribers in a single quarter. Revenue hit $45.2 billion in 2025, with operating margins of 29.5%, numbers that would have seemed impossible during the 2022 crisis. The ad-supported tier, which everyone said would cheapen the brand, now has 94 million monthly active users. More than half of all new subscribers in available markets are choosing the ad tier. Ad revenue more than doubled to over $1.5 billion in 2025 alone, with a target of $3 billion in 2026. The stock that crashed 75% in 2022 had recovered to give Netflix a market cap approaching $400 billion, from near death to the most dominant entertainment company on the planet in less than 3 years. But Netflix wasn't finished. December 5, 2025. Netflix made a move that stopped Hollywood in its tracks. They announced a bid to acquire Warner Bros. Discovery, HBO, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, the entire DC Universe, one of the most valuable content libraries ever assembled, for $82.7 billion. The industry was stunned. Netflix had spent 25 years saying they were builders, not buyers. Now they were going after the biggest prize in entertainment history. But then the bidding war started. Paramount stepped in. The number climbed. $90 billion, $100 billion, $111 billion. And on February 26, 2026, Netflix did something nobody saw coming. They stopped bidding. Ted Sarandos looked at $111 billion and said, "Not worth it." Netflix walked away clean. Paramount won the auction and inherited $87 billion in debt to pay for it. Think about that for a second. Netflix just watched its biggest competitor voluntarily bury itself under a mountain of debt for content Netflix decided wasn't worth overpaying for. That is not a loss. That is a calculated retreat by a company that knows exactly what it's worth and refuses to overpay. The most powerful move Netflix made in 2026 wasn't acquiring Warner Brothers, it was walking away from it. Netflix is targeting $50 to $51 billion in revenue for 2026. It is spending $20 billion on content this year alone. It has signed a $10 billion 10-year exclusive deal for WWE Raw. It has NFL Christmas games through 2026. It has exclusive rights to the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2027 and 2031. It is pushing aggressively into gaming. It is testing vertical video for mobile. And when the moment came to spend $111 billion on someone else's empire, Netflix had the discipline to walk away clean, leaving Paramount to drown in the debt instead. This is not a streaming company. This is a media empire that is systematically cornering everything that makes entertainment valuable. Live sports rights, advertising technology, global distribution, and original programming. And locking it all behind a single subscription. Reed Hastings built Netflix to disrupt Hollywood. And in 2026, Netflix is Hollywood. Netflix went from losing subscribers and crashing 75% in a single year to building one of the most dominant media empires in history. The companies that survive existential crises don't just recover. They transform into something nobody saw coming. Subscribe to DataVault Studio for more breakdowns of the biggest power moves in business history. The real numbers are always more interesting than the headlines.